A lone chimney in the mountains, a dangerous tunnel dug into rock, and a colorful abandoned home are all remnants of Nevada's Mount Irish mining district. We were in Nevada on the hunt for the best old ghost towns and mines and had just left the Delamar mine, heading a few miles to the northwest to Logan and Crescent City. Along the way, we'd find some unexpected surprises.
And we are back on the trail. We made a quick stop for gas because the GX is thirsty. I'm getting like around 8 miles per gallon at the moment off-road, which is not great. We aired down and now we're heading up into the hills that you see ahead of us. What's going on above you? Look at that.
Dude, that's so sick.
David and I are both big aviation nerds, and the entire time we were driving through the area, we had fighters flying over both high and low. At one point, we saw a vapor trail streak across high above us, followed seconds later by a sonic boom that echoed through the mountains.
The petroglyph site, it looks like.
Without knowing it, we'd stumbled upon the Irish Mountain Archaeological Area.
David said on the radio he found some petroglyphs, or saw a sign for some petroglyphs. So we're getting out and taking a look around, see what we can find. I see a sign over here. That sign has a picture of or has an outline of a guy that looks very petroglyphy, and an arrow saying to the right. So I'm guessing they're over here somewhere. Oh, actually, I see stuff. Looks like there's stuff scratched into the rock here. It's hard to make out, but I see some swirls over there. And then maybe on this one, there may be a little animal at the bottom, maybe down here. I keep seeing them spread out all across the rocks, and like here's another one just kind of by itself. You got what looks like a little family there, and then there's a few more around the corner. Oh, those look like some good ones. Yeah, those are obviously animals. They're like the little antelope, pronghorn.
Yeah.
There's another little guy down here that says there's more around the corner. Oh yeah, and these ones are tucked away under here. I can't really tell. Oh, that might be a horse maybe? It's hard to tell. Oh, there's a bunch more here, like all over this rock wall. I've never seen so many petroglyphs spread out across one site like this. Like every single rock, you can see more up there. Every single rock has more of these little pictures on them. According to the information packet here, there's 640 acres of these petroglyphs just scattered across the Mount Irish archaeological site. And these are from like 4,000 years ago to like 200 years ago. And I don't know, it's a really cool stop, but not too much further to the ghost town now.
When prospectors came to the area in 1865, it was the Native Americans of the Paiute tribe, the same people creating the petroglyphs, who showed them the way to the silver ore.
I can see petroglyphs on all these rocks as well as we're driving by them.
Those prospectors quickly claimed the land as their own, forcefully removing the Paiute and founding the towns and mines that we were heading for.
To navigate and plan this trip, we used the app Onyx Off-Road, which you can see up here on CarPlay. I'm following this blue line on CarPlay there. And Onyx Off-Road are sponsoring this video. It is a super useful tool, especially for trips where you're going out with multiple people, because you have those collaborative folders where each of us was able to put in waypoints, things we wanted to see, add routes, that kind of thing. And any change one of us made shows up for all of us. And yeah, it's great. Like there was one ghost town I wanted to see in particular, so I was able just to add it to the folder and add it to the route that we're taking. And of course, Onyx Off-Road makes route planning super easy in the first place because they've got thousands or even hundreds of thousands of miles of unpaved roads marked on the map. And we're actually following one of those recommended trails now that takes you up past this ghost town that we're going to. And there's my waypoint for the ghost town. So we're almost there. So Logan is a much older ghost town than the one we went to yesterday. It was actually founded in 1865 when silver was found in the hills here. But you might notice that this house looks a lot more modern than the ones we were looking at yesterday. It's definitely a lot better shape. You know, your chimney's still standing, most of the walls are still here, and it's made from more modern materials. There are a few remains of old buildings that are basically just piles of rock where the walls and foundation once were. Obviously these buildings are so old that there's not much left of them now.
It was hard to believe that over 300 people used to live here in 1866. At the time, it was the largest settlement in the area with a store, hotel, post office, and mill. But just a few years later, in 1869, the ore began to run out, and by 1871, everyone had gone. The more modern house was built in 1955, long after the town itself had gone, thanks to a small deposit of aluminum silicate. It was lived in until 1970, almost 100 years after the town of Logan was abandoned for the first time.
Well, this house is neat. Look at that fireplace. Like, it's still, look at the paint above it. That's really neat. And then all this storage around the outside. Still got your kitchen here. And even the cabinets are painted there. If I go through into here, we even got a roof still. And some more storage. There's your closet. The curtains are still in very good shape. See, the walls were painted in here too. What's through here? Oh, maybe this is the bathroom. You got the plumbing there. And they obviously had electricity here. There's a light switch down there, and looks like we've got a plug up there. I don't know where the electricity would have come from out here. I know there's the spring, so maybe there's hydropower. Maybe they had generators. We'll wander around and see what we can find. This is what's labeled as the creek behind me running down the hill here, and something tells me that maybe it wasn't hydropower that they're using to get their electricity, because it's very, very dry. Yeah, there's nothing here. I don't know exactly where the spring is, but apparently there is one somewhere, but it's obviously not producing significant amounts of water, at least not this time of year. Now we're gonna head around these hills to another little ghost town and mine that's basically right the other side of them.
We're climbing a lot up here. I see we go over 7,000 feet. It's a good thing that we didn't have recent snow.
Yeah, 7,200 looks like the summit.
This year's winter has been incredibly dry across vast parts of the West. Mountains that would typically be covered in snow are clear or patchy.
Starting to see some patches of snow.
While that helped us get through the pass, the summer fire season this year is going to be bad.
Oh, this is cool. Just coming down the far side of Logan Pass, and there's a cabin just by the side of the road here. I was just looking at the maps, and it says that there's a mine, the Rosario mine, up the hill just up here. So I wonder if that cabin has something to do with the mine. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, here's the mine. Looks like it's kind of collapsed in on itself further down there.
The List mine was originally dug in 1866 and worked for a few years, producing about $20,000 worth of silver.
I've just spotted another building through the trees over there, so I'm gonna go check that out.
In 1925, a man named Rosario made a claim just south of the List mine where he set up a workshop and makeshift smelter and dug what is known as the Rosie Mine.
Well, it says to keep out, so I will keep out, but I'm gonna poke my head in through the windows.
He worked the mine for a couple of decades and abandoned it sometime in the 1940s.
I've spotted another mine up here. This one is not fenced off. Look at it, just goes straight into this rock face here. Goes all the way back there. I can see a door. Who knows how far back it goes, but the door says keep out, so yeah, I'll stay out of this one.
Another claim was made in 1989, although it hasn't been worked on since. The cabin down by the road was built by Rosario in 1925 to live out of while he was working his mine.
All the timber that was used, it's like hand carved on the inside, so it's a flat wall.
He obviously took great care in the construction since it's still standing strong over 100 years later.
All right, let's get on and go to the next ghost town, because it's getting late.
I can see a smokestack or a chimney.
It wasn't long before we made our way into the remains of Crescent City.
So this is really all that's left of Crescent City. This was part of the same silver mining district as Logan, the last ghost town we were at, and founded around the same time, so like 1865 I think is when they found silver here, and 1867 is once they got everything up and running.
It wasn't the smoothest startup. Just 10 days after getting everything going, the company shut down due to a lack of funds. Following a takeover, everything ran with a couple of hundred workers for about 2 years before shutting down again. Finally, in 1873, things got going again, but by then, most of the people had moved on, and it didn't last long.
And all that's left is this one chimney. This was part of the process to extract the metals from the ore, so it involves crushing, chemical treatment, and heating. This chimney is going to be from part of that. And from the smokestack, there is a channel that comes down the hill to the foundations that you see below me here. Apparently this is where the stamp mill would have been for processing the ores, but the engineers that designed these mills knew that the mines out here were temporary, so they designed them in a way that they could be disassembled and taken to a new site when the mining here dried up. Apparently the one that was here was moved about 4 miles away initially, and I don't know where it is now. It is time to head on to our next ghost town, and the original plan was for us to camp there tonight. I don't know if we're gonna make it all the way. It's almost 4:40 now, and it's at least 2.5 hours away. I know David is very hungry. I am extremely tired. I'm operating on Eastern time because I flew into Vegas a couple of days ago to pick up the vehicle. So if we find a cool spot, because we're going across these rolling hills now, which look really pretty. If we find a cool campsite, I may just have us stop and spend the night out here. If we don't, then I guess we'll keep going, and it'll probably be dark by the time we get there.
Incredibly windy outside of we're trying to find camp.
That is a very good point. If you didn't pick that up, David said it's incredibly windy, and then it was just a whole bunch of wind noise coming through his open window. So maybe the rolling hills aren't the best place for us to stop and camp.
Oh, I do see a very lonely Joshua tree. How did that get out here? Is it like the seeds from the Joshua tree? I don't know what the seeds look like, but what, do you think they traveled all that way by themselves?
Well, the little seeds of dandelions are known to travel up to 20 miles, so it's very possible.
You know, dandelion facts is not something I needed right now.
We just reached the Extraterrestrial Highway and pulled off to get some gas on the way. Found ourselves the Area 51 school bus and a couple of aliens hanging out here, and all topped off now. Got a long way to go. I think we've got about an hour's worth down this dead straight highway ahead of me, and probably about 45 minutes worth of sun left as well. So we're gonna get going.
The Extraterrestrial Highway travels through a remote part of Nevada just north of the government's top secret Area 51 base that everyone knows about. It is known for having a high number of UFO sightings, and other strange alien-related activity is often reported along the remote road. While we can neither confirm nor deny coming across any little green guys, the sunset was out of this world.
The sky is crazy.
It is beautiful.
Tybo sits in the Hot Creek mountain range, a little under 10 miles from the highway.
Tybo, 5 miles ahead.
Onyx Maps shows a lot of private property in and around the town, so we decided to go up to the BLM land on the edge of the mountains to find a spot to camp for the night.
Well, we just made it to camp. We didn't go all the way up to the ghost town because there's no camping up there, but we found a spot out in like on the edge of the mountains that will do nicely. But it is very dark, so we can't see anything. I have no idea what the view's like here, and it is also incredibly windy and pretty cold. But thankfully, both of us have nice, warm, heated campers to get into where we're not going to be affected by the wind. So it's late enough. I'm just gonna go to bed, gonna hide in there, and then go to sleep. So we'll see you in the morning. This morning we're waking up with views across the valley right on the edge of the mountain range. We've got a couple other ghost towns and one, I don't know, ghost structure, abandoned building that we're gonna go check out today, starting with Tybo, which is in the mountain range right behind me.
It was a short drive back, and we turned west to head into the mountains towards Tybo.
Welcome to Tybo. This town actually had two booms, one in the 1870s and one in the 1930s, which is why you have a more modern building here than the other ghost towns that we visited. And actually, to call this one a ghost town might be a little bit of a stretch, because I think technically two people still live here. There's a house at the east end of town and a house at the west end of town that look like they're still occupied. There's a mine up on the hill in the BLM land there. And apparently the rest of what you had here when 1,000 people lived here has mostly been demolished, taken away. The road does continue up the hill onto the BLM land, where you got a bunch of these old abandoned houses that used to be part of the town. And I think there's another mining structure further up. We're gonna go check that out. What is under this?
Unsupported.
Yeah. I wonder if this is a sinkhole from the mine. Like, I wonder if it's dug out underneath and it's just kind of collapsed in. Look at that. Yeah, it just keeps on going down under the concrete there. I wonder how far down that goes. Look, the old machinery is still in there. Like, that's, you got the cable around the drum there, and you can see the gears, and looks like the cable goes up to the top, to the wheel up there. That must have just gone straight down into the mine here. You can see there's a shackle on the end of the line there, so there's the cable coming down with a shackle, so that must have been for lifting probably buckets in and out of the mine. And by the looks of things, they would have dumped at the top of this chute here, and you got this chute comes down, and then there's these gates at the bottom to shut it off. This is really neat. This is such a cool structure. I love seeing these old things and trying to figure out, you know, how they worked, imagining them back when they were in operation. So I'm glad we made the stop here. I'm glad we walked up to see this thing, because I think it's the coolest thing we've seen so far on this trip. Because we do have a few more things to see. We've got a couple more ghost towns to check out, and also actually the next stop is an abandoned structure out of Tonopah.